Hey now, welcome back to the Deadology podcast from Pencil Hill Studio, New Paltz, New York. I'm your host, Howard Weiner. This is season 4, episode 15 of the podcast. And it just turned, the clock just struck midnight, so it is July 18th, 2026. 50 years ago, the Grateful Dead played in the Orpheum Theatre. They did, I think it was a 5-show run there. And the show on July 18th is an all-time classic. A show we've been listening to, we had right from our early days of getting into the Grateful Dead. And when I say we, Doug Schmell will be back joining us for this podcast. And, you know, a remarkable happy 50th anniversary to anyone who was at the show and anyone who's appreciated this show over the years, because it is unbelievable. And I think that one of the reoccurring themes we talk about as the podcast rolls on, just how these tapes just keep aging finer than wine. And it's kind of unique to Grateful Dead music. We close listen to these shows, and every time we are just stunned at how good the music is. It's better than we ever thought, better than we heard it the last time, however long ago, a year or two, 10, 20, 30. It never sounds better than before we do these podcasts. And no other music that I can think of is like that. And, you know, I got plenty of musical passions from Miles Davis to Bob Dylan, anybody who's everybody in jazz, blues, but there's really nothing like Grateful Dead. The music just, every listen, as time goes on, just sounds better. And so I'm going to jump right into the Zoom call I had with Doug the other day. It was great. It was on July 16th, about 2 days ago. And somehow the first 45 seconds of our Zoom call is lost. As I was splicing this together, I have no idea how that happened, but you're not missing anything. It was just, hello, buddy, how's it going? Great to have you back on the podcast, etc., etc. So we're really going to jump right into this thing. Happy 50th anniversary, Orpheum Theatre, San Francisco. It always astounds us every time we do a podcast. We fall more in love with these shows. So I'm sure you're excited to talk about this one.
Yeah, I remember the cassette, and I probably have not heard the show in literally 30 years, but I do remember this amazing set list with an Other One sandwich and all these crazy songs within the Other One sandwich. And I just was like, you had asked me, pick a show from like July 76. And I was like, this is perfect. The 18th. That was always the show that kind of I remembered. And Howie, this show blew me away. It was better than I ever remembered. It's, to me, the best show of 76. There's a lot of great shows in 76. After you did the podcast of the June 11th show, I was checking out a couple other surrounding shows. Those 2 Beacon shows are incredible, especially the 15th. That might be like the second or third best show of the year. So I was like, how is this show going to top the Beacon show? And some of the shows from the Boston Music Hall are incredible. Somehow this show, in my estimation, beats those shows. It's that good. It's incredible. It really is. I was floored. To me, it's a personal favorite show of mine, literally in my top 10. Again, my top 10 probably has 20, 30 shows.
The interchanging top 10.
But
it's always evolving.
1972 to 1974, those are my core years. Nobody's ever going to talk me out of that being the Dead's prime. But looking at some other periods, you know, this post hiatus, you know, early 76, you know, they started in June. So it's not really early 76, but when they started playing these shows in the small theaters, Howard, I'll tell you, these shows are a lot better than I ever imagined. And this one is the best of the bunch.
That's a total revelation, man. Because like at the end of 76, I could tell they were coming on. And I know some of those shows. We always loved The Shrine. I think that was my favorite
oh my
for a
God.
long time.
10, 15,
15,
76. Yeah. Truly an amazing show. Amazing. It's right up there with the best shows of the year. That's in the top 5. No doubt.
I think
just like October 9th. October 9th.
I don't know if we undervalued, but we kind of missed how great this early June, July
exactly.
run is.
When you're stuck like I have been for 12 years at least now, in 72, 73, and 74. And that time period obviously speaks for itself, but I definitely have been guilty of missing some other time periods. And this 76 run is amazing. And I can't stress enough to people out there how amazing the Dead sound, the singing, everything, the playing. Yeah, it's a little slower. I get that. And that's what kind of turned me off on some shows. But overall, what a fantastic year and a prelude for the majesty of 1977.
Yeah, hey, let's go back to 1981. This is we're getting into the Grateful Dead, 1980, 1981, and this was among our first tapes. It was in that first two, three
Absolutely.
dozens, and
Absolutely.
we listened to it, we liked it, but we were enamored with 77 and the Scarlet Fires and the like
Correct.
substantial stuff that was easy. We're young, we're 17 or 18. This show, the older you get, uh, the more your musical IQ goes up. You listen to jazz, you
Sophisticated.
listen to
The more it
blues,
evolves. Yeah.
and all it does, it makes the Grateful Dead better. It makes it that much better because you have this musical IQ now, and you look at a show like this, like we just listened to it. It never sounded better, man. It's incredible.
Oh yeah.
I think
This show, Howard, I started listening to this a week ago. It was on Friday. I told you I was driving to Sarasota. That's when I said, "Hey, what's a good show for me to listen to?" And we'll do the podcast on. And then we decided this show. I could not believe it took me 3 hours and change to drive to Sarasota, which was perfect. This show was about 3 hours and 15 minutes with a second set that's just 2 hours, like
very
maybe
long for 76. Yeah,
incredible. And I could not believe how hot they were. And the one thought that I had in my mind as I'm listening to the show in full, from the start of my journey to Sarasota till it ended, was the word jamming. They jam so much within the show, within the songs, the first, even the first set songs. The second set sequence is mind blowing, the jam suite, if you will. Incredible. I couldn't believe how hard and how much they were jamming. They were going for it. They were taking their time. Just truly incredible. And then I listened to it again in preparation for this podcast. I started Monday and I was listening to it on my walks around the neighborhood with the headphones, also in the car when I was driving to lunch. So I've literally listened to the show a full 2 times. And it's better each time you listen to it. It's amazing. There are so many little nuances, so many little, gaps that you don't want to miss. Amazing. Of course, we'll dissect the show, but just as an overall, view, incredible. They're all on. The singing's on, the pacing's on, the instrumentation is everything's on for them. It's incredible. To me, it's the best show of the year.
yeah. So 1976, it was like the spirit of 76 for the United States. For the Grateful Dead, it was the song loops of 76 that
Oh yeah,
they mastered. Just doing these segues and that's synergy, man. It's like that they had some magic going in 76 and 77. It's funny we compare it to 78 sometimes, where Garcia is going off like a madman on that wolf,
exactly.
just playing great. But they didn't have this synergy where they were doing these kind of songs,
Agreed.
impressing with these set lists.
It's
But
the creativity is
yeah,
truly amazing. When you look at the set list, the second set, that sequence, jam sequence, is literally 13 songs of never ending, of continuous jamming that lasts 83 minutes. It is amazing. It's
it's
one of the
nuts.
longest and greatest jam sequences or jam suites, as a lot of people call it, they've ever done in their career. Up there with all the great Europe 72 stuff that I love and I stand by. Up there with the other 72 shows that I love that I, go nuts over. And I say, you got to listen to this, Howie. Amazing. I could not believe literally how hot they were. It blew
Yes.
me away. And again, it was a show I thought I knew, but God, I really didn't know it,
Yeah,
to be
so
honest.
some people call it a jam suite. I call it an epic masterpiece segment with another one, Loop du jour, featuring an overstuffed, not fadeaway sandwich. I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously that's the heart of the show and the best
yeah,
part. But God, the first set is even amazing. It's the last night of a 6 show run at the Orpheum Theatre. This was their first time playing in San Francisco for a real concert since the hiatus. They played at the Great American Music Hall, but again, that was an invitation only show. There was a couple of other small shows in 75 that weren't truly concerts. They were Garcia and Friends. It was a snack benefit. There was a couple of different, iterations of the Grateful Dead. But this was the first Dead tour since 1974 when they closed, the last shows at the Winterland to end October. And that started the hiatus. And you can tell from the get-go, from July 12th, that they were on. They were so psyched to be back in their element in their hometown, and they killed it. 6 shows in 7 nights. They took one night off, which was the 15th.
Hey,
So they played
well,
the 12th, 13th, and 14th, took the 15th off, played the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And a lot of these shows are incredible. I don't know them all. I knew the 18th because this one was broadcast on FM, on WKSAN,
that's why we
which
had the
was a show
tapes.
that that's
Yeah.
why we had the tape back in the day, Howie. But it's easy to overlook a show like, yeah, it's a radio broadcast. Everybody,
It's a classic, but you got to
right,
really
right.
hear it. Like,
Boy, I was floored, Howie, to the extent that like I said, this is now one of my favorite shows. There's no question about it. I love this show.
hey,
Love it.
before you tell us about the Mississippi half step opener, one more comment. The thing I remember about this tape, it was like artwork. I don't do much artwork, but back in the day, writing up a set list, when you got those tapes, you're like, it was like brilliant,
It
just
was
writing
fun.
it up song by song.
Right, it
I,
was
I
fun.
remember the way this looks. It was like a red pen, like a pinkish hue. I could still see the tape, man, of this
Wow.
Orpheum show. And
That's awesome.
I never had the first set. I just had the second set. I don't know if you had the
Wow.
first
Yeah,
set.
yeah, that makes sense. I don't remember the first set either. That second set, though, I remember the other one, other one. So I sort of I thought there were three separate other ones, but that's a 72 thing. There's two, but you're right. I can picture my cassette. It was probably in black, but I don't remember the first set. So we probably only had the second set. And I probably listened to it and I thought it was great, but God. This is the type of show that's really worthy of investigation because they don't take a song off.
Yeah,
And they
the
were
more
in their element,
like I said,
Howie.
the more musical IQ you develop, this
Yes,
45 years later, we could appreciate it a lot more now than we did back then.
of course.
It's not
Back
like
then, right.
any
I'm
other
listening.
band. It's not that way, man. It's like, Bob
Exactly.
Dylan. I love Highway 61, but I loved it right away. It doesn't shed new light when I listen to
There
it.
you go.
The
That's
great,
a very, very poignant point, and it makes sense to me.
the Grateful Dead, just somehow this is timeless and it keeps getting better. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the evolution of our taste, the taste for the music, the appreciation, the sophistication, the creativity. It's amazing. You're right. Back in the day, we probably couldn't have appreciated this show the way we do now because we were what, 18, 19, 20?
And we were in
As
the
your
thick of
musical
going to
taste,
shows.
right? We just started.
Yeah.
As your musical tastes evolve, you see different things within the music. And to me, this show is perfect. It really is a perfect concert.
Hey,
One of their
we got to get to the second set. So kick us off with that half step.
Oh my God. So this half step to me is the best one they ever did up till this point. I truly believe that. It's got a decent first jam, the middle jam. It's nice before the Rio Grande Bridge, and then they go nuts. I mean, especially Jerry. He's hitting some incredible notes, very similar to the ones in 77, not as pronounced, not as thunderous, but he's laying the seeds for what's going to come the next year.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it was pretty incredible. Every time I've heard this, I heard it 3 times in
Ah,
preparation for the podcast. Every time it got better, man. I just kept
yeah,
that last
exactly.
jam. It's like these
Amazing. They
nice
come out of the
peaking notes,
gates.
man. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing to open up a show with a half step and to really kill it? And
And,
Jerry,
and
was this the Travis Bean guitar?
yeah, yeah,
Oh my God, that's a great sounding guitar. It
yeah,
really is. It's different than the Wolf. It's different. There's a couple of different sounds. This one sounds so unique to me, and it's not as loud, I don't think, as the Wolf, but you listen and you hear these amazing notes that he's hitting. It's so clear. It's the clarity that I love of the
yeah.
sound of Travis
Yeah,
Bean.
there's two Travis Beans. They sound very similar. This was, I think, his first one, and then he had
Uh,
another one for the Cornell, but they sound similar.
Correct.
I think you
In
could, yeah,
77, but
yeah,
a
they
different
sound very,
sound. It's
yeah,
definitely a different sound. I like the sound. So right off the bat, they're killing it. Like a 9 minute half step, 9 minute and change.
and we
And
are going to
I
get.
don't know of anyone up to this point that is as hot.
Yeah,
You
we're going
know?
to get to a lot of musical highlights in the second step. We might as well hear that half step jam because I think
Oh
the
yeah.
first song in it
So
might be the highlight of the first set. It's that
oh
good.
yeah, to open up the show like this, they knew people knew. Wow, the Dead are back. You
Yeah,
know.
here you go. The half step. Enjoy.
Lazy river across the Rio Grande, across the lazy river, across the Rio Grande.
Hey man, just those peaking notes, running peaking notes, man. It's beautiful. You could tell that this half step is going to take off in '77. Just great
Yeah.
stuff.
How do you get to that point when you open up the show? You know what I'm saying? You got to get the kinks out. You got to feel your instruments,
Ray
the
Davies, you got
sound,
to
the
get Ray Davies out,
monitors,
all the kinks.
right? You're just checking out the crowd. You've been there 5 nights already. This is a sixth night. This was a Sunday night, and they're closing the Orpheum Theater for the run. I'm just impressed and amazed at how hot they were from the get-go, the first song. Look, if he had cut the jam short and made it half the outro jam as it was, it still would have been good. It still would have been hot. But Jerry really takes it, I think, to another level, and it sounds great, Howard. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And then they
And
flow into Cassidy, such a beautiful combination, half
oh
step
yeah,
Cassidy.
half step Cassidy. Yeah, I'll tell you, these Cassidys are a little short, but it was a fairly new song at this point. Remember, they started Cassidy in '74. I think the first Cassidy is that the show maybe from the
323 Cow
Palace.
Palace. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's the first one. I was right,
And,
and that's a great show because it's got that playing Uncle John's Morning Dew. Uncle John's playing the last.
also the first begonias that night.
Correct. So this Cassidy, to me, it's short, but it's hot. He hits some
Yeah.
nice notes, and you realize where this song has potential and where it's going to go. And really, it opens up in '77. Still a little shorter than the later years, but still, I love it, man. The third's wow. I'll tell you, Howie. The third song of the first set was one of the highlights for me. The Road Jimmy. I don't know if you thought the same as me. There's Jerry hits that beautiful slide guitar, but it's perfect. The lyrics, the sound of his voice, the Donna accompaniment of her voice, to me was perfect. This
Uh,
was one of the best Road Jimmies I have ever heard. I truly
I
mean,
love it, man. I think
I
I have
was in tears.
a warm place for Road Jimmy and also Looks Like Rain from '76. Those were the
Oh my
first
God.
live
Very
versions
good
I,
point. Those
yeah,
two songs really to me might have been the best years in 70, for these two songs, especially in 76. This is an top-notch version. Look, I've said it before in one of our podcasts. The ones from 73 when they started the song, there's some really beautiful ones where Jerry's guitar is a little more tender, a little more tearful, a little more just melancholy. You got 10-19-73. I highly recommend that if you guys don't know it offhand. It's amazing. 6/22/73, that's the one from Vancouver. 10-19-73 is one of the best shows of the year. That's the one from Oklahoma City. That show is nuts with the Dark Star Morning
yeah.
Dew.
Dick's
That Road
picks.
Jimmy is
Yeah,
amazing. The first set. So most of those Road Jimmy's first sets, just like this one. Another great one, Howie, is from the Pauley Pavilion in UCLA, 11/17. That's an incredible
yeah,
Road Jimmy too. More heartfelt to me than these 76 versions, but still, this one's amazing. And another one for you guys out there is from the Beacon, 6/14. That's the best one of the year. I was cracking up it was comical.
wow.
That's how hot Jerry's guitar was. Yeah, write that down, 6/14, which the show is phenomenal. But that really stood out for me in that first set. That Road Jimmy was amazing, maybe better than this one. But again, to me, it's perfect. 10, 11-minute version. Donna sounds great. She's not over singing. I'll tell you, she was on key and it's perfect. And the Mama tried, a great fourth slot for a song like that, a little cowboy song. Tribute to Merle Haggard, right? Great song. They pull it off. That sets up to me the highlight of the first set, Howard. There's a few, but this Scarlet Begonias, man, oh my God. To me, this is the best one they've ever done up to this point. And it sounds a lot like Cornell. You've got the great bass runs by Phil, the Phil bass intro. It's outstanding.
Yeah,
The middle jam is incredible. The outro jam is timeless. I
yeah. It's
was
got
curious. I
those
know you
great
love this Begonias. I know it.
cascading kind of
Yeah.
leads. Just a beautiful run, seamless cascading leads. That's the only
Eh,
way I could put that Scarlet
Yeah.
Begonias jam. And
Amazing.
and Donna didn't overstay her welcome. She did a little bit at the end.
She
It wasn't
sounds
too
great.
much. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, she sounds great. Again, those ballads between with Jerry and Donna singing, like
yeah,
Road Jimmy, like Tomorrow is Forever. There's so
yeah,
many versions where they sing together. Oh my God, a great song. They sound so well in this show.
yeah.
The singing is dead on, Howie.
And
I
you can tell,
noticed that throughout the
Begonias is
show.
expanding a little bit. The middle jam's a little longer than it was in
Correct.
'74, and yeah,
Correct.
just great. So I mean, these like you're at the show, 5 songs in, you're getting two of the greatest Garcia Hunter songs ever, Half Step and Begonias, played
Amazing, right?
beautifully. So yeah,
Within the first five songs, and they're both two of the to me the best versions of each song they have ever done up until this point. I truly believe that. Look, there's some great Scarlet Begonias in '74, the standalone ones. This one to me is just a little better because of the outro jam. He starts off right after the lyrics. The outro jam is very quiet and understated
oh
and
yeah,
very mellow.
it's
And then they pick it up. It's outstanding. And that's a theme for this show. There are no rushed moments in any song of this show. Every song has like a little longer ending where Jerry is trying to find that perfect beat, where they're searching for the next song. It's amazing. There was a Sunday night. You figure, hey, maybe they wanted to end on a rush and get, tomorrow's a work day,
yeah.
whatever. People have to go to work in the audience. It was the opposite. They were taking their time on every song, Howie. I
Uh,
noticed that from the first listening. Amazing.
Everything
Amazing.
was building up to this, man. All leads up to this day, and yeah, just
It's true.
incredible, man. And the FM thing, they knew this was going out, being broadcast, and
Of course,
yeah,
that plays into it.
they
Playing to
were
their hometown, their true base, San Francisco audience. Look, we always said New York audiences, Philadelphia. These East Coast audiences will eat you alive, and the Dead play their raucous, their best. They're most ferocious on the East Coast. But I'll tell you, playing in front of their home crowd, you've got so many great shows over the years at the Winterland, so many great shows over the years at the Fillmore West, and this Orpheum Theater run truly amazing. They were great when they were in San Francisco, Howie. Great.
yeah. Then after we got Looks Like Rain after Begonias, and we
Oh
started
my
hitting on
God.
this, and it's just beautifully sung.
This
Garcia's hitting
looks
all
like
the right
rain is
notes.
incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible. Yeah, you mentioned it before. 1976 was an unbelievable year for Looks Like Rain. Another one from this time period that is unreal is The Beacon, 6/15/76. It's got the same song combo of Looks Like Rain and then Tennessee Jed. The Looks Like Rain is probably the best of the year, maybe a little better than this one, although this one from the Orpheum is great. And the Tennessee Jet from that show, 6/15, is the best one of the year. This one isn't as good. It's okay. It's not great. That's the only first set song that I didn't think was, oh my God, look how
yeah.
amazing.
Just the singing was good. It was a nice
Right,
roll
but
to it,
the
but wasn't
the outro
a
jam
peaking
wasn't
gem.
nuts.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. He was just saving himself. But this Looks Like Rain. It's sung perfectly. This is a theme throughout the show. There were no mental mistakes, no singing mistakes, no vocal flubs. It was amazing. They were on top of their game. And that's probably because they were in the midst of this great run where each show may have topped the one before it.
yeah,
Amazing. And
yeah.
I'll tell you, I just love these Looks Like Rains from '76. So heartfelt, bluesy. It's a love song. It's got so much potential, so much promise, so much, I just love it, you
Yeah.
know?
Hey, like I was saying before, my Boston Music Hall 6/12/76 was one of my first 76 tapes, and I fell in love
Yeah,
with
correct. I
The Road
remember you talking
Jimmy and
about
Looks
that.
Like Rain from that. So when I hear that, it's
Or,
almost like, it brings me
yeah.
back to first loving the songs. And
Oh, of
it,
course.
that's part of the hook for me, really enjoying that. So we talked about the Tennessee Jet a little bit, good version. What did you think of the Minglewood?
The Minglewood's hot, very hot. There's a couple of longer jams than he normally did up until this point, and even maybe longer than '77. There
Wow.
were some nice. The middle jam is nice and long. He might have taken an extra round. Now he doesn't go crazy where he could have. You're listening to it, and he could have topped that, but it's perfect for its time period. I just love it. They played the song. They just started playing it, I believe, probably right before this. They did a few. They did some, I believe, in the Boston Music Hall. There might be one from the Beacon. Then they played at the Capitol Theater. And by now, they're really getting into this song. And I'll tell you, I love Minglewood. I just love the guitar. Jerry's leads. He's got two separate leads. And he really doesn't, again, go for the gusto. But the leads that he does hit, they're beautiful. They really are. They sound great, too. The sound quality of the show. I don't have the FM broadcast. I thought I did. It is stated as an FM broadcast. It's the CDs that I have as part of this box set that I bought. It's supposed to be all these FM broadcasts, but it's not. It's the soundboard. And it sounds great. It really does. It's perfect. Same one you'll find on the Internet Archive. It's the soundboard, version. It's the top one, that got the most votes. But it just sounds incredible, I'll tell you. So yeah, it's a top-notch Minglewood for me. 8 songs in, they're killing it. They're right on.
Then we get Loser that follows.
Yeah, first one
Yeah.
in 2 years.
Oh, was
First,
I
yeah,
that
yeah.
hey,
Last one they played was in sometime in 74. Trying to think of the date I offhand, but they didn't play it in 75, and
I
they
didn't
didn't play
even
it
realize that.
all.
Good
Didn't
call.
play it
I
in
didn't look.
Boston Music Hall. Yeah, didn't play it at the Beacon, didn't play it in the Capitol Theater, didn't play it in Upper Darby in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. There's a lot of shows that came before this, but they find, and it's a great loser. Really is. You know, the singing's great. It's a really pretty guitar jam. It's different. It's one of the probably the first that they did 2 rounds of the jam. It's not just that single
Oh
round
yeah,
and
yeah,
Jerry explodes. This one is great. And there's a very similar to the score of Begonias, like I said before, where it's a very quiet moment after the lyrics. The very last part of his jam, it gets quiet. And then they thump out the last fair deal. It's great. I'll tell you. Something another theme of this song is with the singing. They know when to get to the quiet parts. They really emphasize that, and then boom, they did that also in St. Stephen, as we'll discuss later.
yeah.
Amazing.
That's very cool. Good points I didn't even think about Loser not being played in '76 yet,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it definitely had a relaxed feel, but right on the money with the
Yeah,
singing
it's
and yeah,
great. It's great, great version. This was a song that never really it matured right away. Those 71 versions are great. The 72 versions from Europe 72, they're all great. Now the lead wasn't extended, it was a short, but it was still hot. And the singing was always great. The lyrics, I always loved the lyrics in Loser. It's a great song. And then when they started, I believe this was the first one when they did 2 rounds of the jam, which in 77 became such a freaking
yeah.
first
Really took
set,
off. Yeah,
a highlight for
yeah,
them. Yeah, those 77 and then 78. You would not believe there's a 78 version to me that might be the best Loser. It's from Duke, 4/12/78. It is incredible, Howard. That whole
I know the
show is
show, but
nuts.
I got to look in on that.
Oh,
I
that
didn't.
show is unbelievable. It might be, I didn't know it until I got the box set. The box set that came out like two years ago, I believe, Rhythm Devils or something.
Yeah,
Great show from April 78. All those Betty boards from that month. Incredible.
yeah. That Duke show is the
Duke
infamous
78 is
U.S.
amazing.
Blues with Jerry doing the windmill
Of
and
course, the truck in there that was captured. That's on YouTube. So this set now, 9 songs in, it's not that long. It's now an hour and change, and that sets up to me the best music never stopped ever up until this point. I
oh, of
truly
course,
believe
yeah,
that nothing compares to it. They go nuts, and if they somehow just extended it a little more, I was thinking about that. I listened to it yesterday morning. That's the last time I heard it, but I've heard it a good 2, 3 times, for this podcast. Howie, I'll tell you, it is unbelievable. It's hotter than any one they had ever done up till now.
probably
And
the
it's
best of
better than a lot
'76
of
altogether.
77 ones.
Yeah.
It is. It's great.
Yeah, it
There's one
definitely
part at
surprised
the
me.
end.
It's definitely a longer instrumental. The Garcia's really hanging in with
He's
it, and
cooking.
yeah,
He is cooking. They finally got the real feel of the song where they extend it and it's a true, tribute to the fact that the music never stopped. That's what they were doing. They just piled on. The jamming was just so circumlocution and it didn't stop. It was amazing.
yeah. There was
Circular. If he had just extended this a little more, and at the end there's a part where I'm thinking, oh my God, he really could have went for it, but that didn't exist yet.
yeah.
We
This was
were
just
still only in 76.
he
He
really
would have
went for it. We know he could do it in his mind because
exactly.
we know it exists. But
Of course, it
at that
just took
point, that was
him
the most.
another
Yeah,
6 months, whatever it was, into the next year to really reach that point. But boy, I was laughing listening to it on my headphones, Harry. I swear, it is that good.
yeah. There's
That's
no
another
doubt, man.
highlight of
It's
the first set.
longer than just that's probably the longest one of '76. Man, he
Oh,
really
no
went
doubt.
off
And
on
it's
that.
incredible. It's better than all the other ones I've heard.
Hey, and we got a lot of '76 audio highlights. I mean, that's a second set audio highlights. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this
Play
music
this.
as the outro
Oh, smart,
for
smart.
the whole
It's
thing.
that hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this first set to cap it, it's about an hour and 15 minutes, give or take. It's incredible. 10 songs. They're so tight. The singing is dead on. They don't make any vocal mistakes that I know of. I mean, they are truly on every song. They are on top of their game, Howie. This
Yeah.
is a band that is so locked in. It's incredible. Feeding off each other, feeding off the energy of the crowd, their San Francisco home base. I mean, I'll tell you, to have been there must have been mind-boggling. picture you're 21 years old, you live in the Bay Area, the Dead are coming back, you got your tickets through mail order, and now you go see them, maybe once or twice in this run. This show would have blown us away.
Oh yeah,
You
and you
and
got
I in the day, forget it. We were too young at this point. Obviously, I'm a 13-year-old. I was probably, in camp or something, right? At this
yeah.
point.
Hey, you got all the new songs too. You got the songs this period with the Wake of the Flood and the Mars Hotel and Blues for Allah.
Incredible. So
That
many great new songs.
that is the ultimate Grateful Dead original. It's not Americana. It's truly Grateful Dead. And when they took that
Yes.
stuff and brought it live, even with the Terrapin Station fits into that motif too. This
Yeah,
is
I
such a
agree.
great period.
Excellent point, Howie. Yeah, the songwriting was just unbelievable,
And you even got the stuff that's not on there, the Lazy Lightning Supplication,
Oh my
the
God. Yeah,
all
that's
those
from the
songs.
Kingfish album. But look at all these songs: Half Step, original, Cassidy, original, Road Jimmy, tribute to Merle Haggard, Begonia's original, Looks Like Rain original, a Tennessee Jet original, New Minglewood Blues. They played over the years. They started playing that in '66. Loser original, Music Never Stopped. It's just incredible. All these great songs, original songs.
And this is why they had to make the transition from 74. You can't continue to play 40-minute Dark Stars and 30-minute plans for your entire
Correct.
career. You have to
And
introduce
30-minute other ones. Yeah.
you have all these great songs that you have to get involved. The Music Never Stopped, the Half Step from 73, Begonias. You have to work these songs in. It's
Yeah, it's amazing. That's a great point, Howie. It just shows you could really define the Grateful Dead by any year. Every year is different. Most bands probably would never go through that kind of metamorphosis that would be on a yearly or an annual basis. But the Grateful Dead, it's amazing. 74, then you compare it to 75, totally different. 75 compared to 76, totally different. And then 77, they embark. It's incredible to me.
yeah.
No other band could. Now they may have eras, the Led Zeppelin, they were great from 70 to 74, whatever, and then 75 through 77, different time periods. But the Dead, you could define their existence yearly and the growth that they made from year to year. It's
Yeah.
true. No other band had that.
Even when it seems like it
Plus,
got into a little bit of a rut, like 82 versus 83. 82 was like razor sharp compared to
correct.
83, where you had these
83,
long jams, and they were both
right,
great.
not as focused. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to change a thing. It's that's what makes it
Dirty
so
Dead,
interesting. Yeah,
as Rob Bleedstein would say. Yeah, Dirty Dead. I like that.
in the
But
80s,
going,
especially
God,
83. Yeah,
I was just so floored. Again, listening to this first set in the car, not even a week ago, and I was like, what a great first set. And then I knew the second set had the jam sequence, the jam suite, and I got so psyched for that. And they open up set two with look, the Might As Well from these time period. I just
they're
love
great.
that
It's the
song.
best. Yeah,
Howie, I love that song. There's something about it, Obviously, it's a tribute, to that great, what do they call it? When they
the
did
the
that
train ride in
Continental,
Canada. Yeah,
yeah, with Janis Joplin and
Festival Express. There.
yes, yes. And then that's I think available on YouTube. You can see some of the video from that. But this song was a dedication to that and kind of a thinking of it and remembering it because it was 5 years old. I believe that was in
Yeah,
71.
I
No,
think
70. I
yeah,
believe
70s.
70.
I think you also like this song because it rhymes with Doug Schmell. Might as well.
Might as well. Yeah, this, I'll tell you, Might As Well was definitely the best in 76 and 77. And this is when it all started, and it's a great song to open up set too, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well,
I
once
like
again, going
Jerry's
back to that,
jamming in it. I like the outro
it's
jam.
awesome.
Great.
You get an extra jam at the end, which you
It's
didn't get like
great.
when we used to go to see shows and we'd see Might As Well. It was nothing.
It
It was
was
a
a first
throwaway.
set
It
ender,
was a
you
throwaway.
know? It would
But
end the first set.
you could hear the excitement. Jerry's reliving that
Oh, it's amazing.
train. So yeah, a totally different experience hearing it in these years for
You
sure.
might not remember this, but when Jerry said something a good time, something just a good time. Never had such a good time. And then Bobby comes in and says, no, no, no. In my life before, I'd like to have it
Yeah,
one time. Oh, one good ride from start to end. I'd like to take that ride again. It just, whenever I hear that, Howie, it just a smile comes out across my face because I could picture Garcia singing it and he's in the mood. And you can tell he loves this song. He loves belting out the lyrics at the end. Might as well, he's probably spit no saliva like Bobby, but he's probably spitting you might as well. It's great. I'll tell you, what a great freaking
yeah. He
song.
really sang emphatically on these in
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Donna sounds
77.
great in
Yeah,
it. Yeah. The 77 versions may top the 76, but I'll tell you,
Yeah.
this one is truly incredible. It's a great way to open up a set, Amazing. And then one of the better Samsons of the year. This Samson and Delilah was hot, Howie, and it's longer than some of the other ones from 76.
Yeah,
It was over
it's
seven
weird.
minutes.
It was almost a little more rocking. It almost stepped out of the '76, when most of '76 had this real funky sound. This one was almost
Correct, correct.
a
It's more
precursor,
rocket.
yeah,
It's a
to
great point.
'77. Yeah,
Yeah, came out of its comfort zone a little on this one, more so than I've ever heard. Just amazing. And then you got the Candyman, a beautiful Candyman. I heard this yesterday while walking around the neighborhood, and it's tender. It's just the singing again is another theme of this whole show. The singing in this show is so spot on for every member of the band.
yeah. It's funny. We could go.
Candyman is a perfect example of that. Oh my God, does Jerry sound great? Donna sounds great. You got that beautiful little jam in it. I love the twangy sound of his guitar. Oh my God.
Yeah, I could
And that
do.
really is the end of the show right before the
Yeah,
jam. To me,
I
it's
could do.
incredible.
10 more podcasts, and Candyman won't come up. I think the last four podcasts, Candyman's been
Yeah,
in every
Candyman,
show.
isn't that amazing? Yeah, we've had a couple of Candymans, and you're right. You love the versions in the '80s, and I get that. But the singing on this one floored me, Howie. I could not believe how just perfect the sound is. They just sound so great. The improvisation, it's amazing to
Yeah,
me.
it's a great Candyman. We don't want to undersell the first three songs here because they're phenomenal. It's a great start to the second set, but what's about to come,
Oh my
we-
God.
if we were doing it, well, we are on YouTube, but if we were actually doing YouTube video, we would have to have a chalkboard and chalk and brackets and like an Einstein kind of thing, man. This is
It's incredible.
oh,
It's an 83 minutes. I don't know of any other jam suites that long, except maybe the one from Rotterdam, which is the Dark
that's pretty
Star,
damn good.
Sugar Magnolia, Caution, into Truckin', and then Uncle John's Band. Even they actually do kind of go into it. There's only a 2-second pause, and then they end the show with Uncle John's Band. That's also about almost an hour and a half. This is truly 83 plus minutes. One of the greatest. It's probably the best post hiatus jam suite or jam sequence they've ever done. I truly,
It makes
because it is phenomenal, Howard.
it
And the
makes
jamming
sense,
in
man.
it
It's
is,
balanced. It's brilliant. It's got everything you want. Everything that's amazing about the Grateful Dead is in this
yeah,
suite.
it's wrapped up. And it's 13 songs. It's the longest one song-wise they've ever did. I mean, think of that. Lazy Lightning, into Supplication, into Let It Grow, into Drums, into Let It Grow Reprise, which we'll get to, we'll dissect it, into Wharf Rat, into Other One, into St. Stephen, into Not Fade Away, into the St. Stephen Reprise, into The Wheel, back into the Other One Reprise, and they finalize it and finish it with one of the greatest Stella blues of all time, which of course we'll get to. But
Yeah.
13 songs,
And Sugar
8
Magnolia.
minutes. Grateful Dead brilliance. A masterpiece, Howie. A masterpiece.
The Sugar Magnolia was also part of this suite, right?
No. They
it's
end
separate.
after Stella Blue.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Cool.
They get their bearings. It's 30 seconds.
As I was listening to this, I couldn't get my bearings. So I was
It's amazing. The crowd also knew what was going on because after the Stella Blue, there is this unbelievable amount of clapping. Like they realized what they just saw. They just saw history. So to get into this jam suite, the Lazy Lightning is one of the best ones I've ever heard. Usually Lazy Lightning is short, and then it's the Supplication where they go off on. It's 5 minutes. This is the exact opposite. The Lazy Lightning is a good 7 minutes, and the Supplication's less than 2 minutes. But the Lazy Lightning is incredible. They hit some unbelievable notes, and then they don't want to end it. It's very consistent with the theme of the show, as I mentioned before. They are not rushing into anything. They're taking their time. They're exploring themes. They're thinking of what they're going to do next, but they don't rush into it. And this Lazy Night might be the best one they've ever done.
This is where the greatness
long.
of the second set starts, man. It's that Lazy Lightning is incredible. It's
It is.
obviously much longer than the ones they were playing at that time, and
Oh, not even close.
yeah,
Like I said, the Supplication would usually be the song that they would extend. This Lazy Lightning is about 7.5 minutes. And again, I love the fact that they don't rush out of it. I love it when they're taking their time and exploring things. Jerry noodles a little. They're just that's the part of the Grateful Dead that I love maybe the most, when they're just thinking of what they're doing next and there's this mind meld and a, one consciousness of the band where the music is playing the band,
Mhm.
and they're just in that element. I could listen to that forever. I truly mean that, where they're not rushing. Like by 1980, whatever, we're going to shows, and then they do it. I Need a Miracle for 4 minutes, and then
Cut.
boom, they're into a Black Peter. They're into a Black
Yeah.
Peter after three
Black
minutes.
Peter, boom, round and
Right,
around,
right,
round and
right.
around, boom, good loving.
That's my point. Look, nothing. Look, I get it. They're older, they're more tired, they might have had time constrictions, whatever it might be. But that was the point that I used to focus on it, and that's why I wouldn't go to shows as much. They just weren't jamming and extending songs and being in the moment. That's what I loved, in the moment. But
Yeah.
this is to me the epitome of being in the moment. Every one of these songs they extend. They're
Yeah, and
just not a
you listen
rush.
to the Lazy Lightnings from earlier in June. They're good, but nothing
They're
like
very
this.
good.
This is really
But
extended. Yeah,
oh yeah, they don't compare. By this time, it's just that's why this is the greatest Lazy Lightning ever up until this point, and it might be the best one ever. There are so many examples of that I had mentioned where this is the greatest version that they've ever done up on July 18th. This was the best version they had ever done. They might have topped it sometime afterward, but if they did, it was very, just by a little bit because some of these, so again, the supplication is a little short, but the supplication goes right into Let It Grow. And it's the hottest Let It Grow I've heard in so long, Howie. It
yeah, I
blew me
love it,
away.
man. It's
It's
and it's so cool that
incredible.
they went right into it. That's like such a noticeable thing. After the supplication, they go right into let
It's
it
incredible.
into
Dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
dun. It's amazing. Imagine being there.
They
Imagine
should have put
being
those songs
there.
together more often. It was a beautiful thing just to hear
Oh,
it. It
yeah,
was
it was incredible.
unbelievable. Yeah,
Now,
and
this song was released on Wake of the Flood. This song had been out since '73. It's 3 years later, so people knew the song, but they never went into it like that from another song, and they jumped right into it. And it's incredible. It's a 15-minute version. And when you include the drums,
yeah,
it's incredible. It's like
it's one of the best
15
of all
minutes.
time. And I didn't know that until I started listening to the show again. It was
There you go. I,
yeah,
I remember it was part of the other one, Sweet,
yeah,
whatever, on the tape. I remember there was a Let It Grow. But Howie, I was laughing when I was listening to it yesterday. This truly is one of the best ones I've ever heard. It's
yeah,
incredible. Now, look, there's so many ones from '77, the Calb, you got Colgate, there's a couple others. There's a few great ones from '78. One that comes up top of my head is William and Mary from April 15th, '78. That show is
yeah,
incredible. But something about this one, again, I go back to that Travis Bean, the sound of his guitar is just
yeah.
perfect for the
Yeah,
nuances of Let It Grow. I can't explain it. It just fits
yeah,
perfectly.
I'd be
He-
remiss if I didn't mention Alpine 82, 8
oh, yeah,
cylinder.
that's
So
incredible.
that's my favorite Let It Grow. But
Yeah, yeah, that
this,
might be the best.
yeah,
I agree with you. That's way up there. He's taking his time. There's so many different, like
phases and yeah,
chapters. There's
yeah,
different chapters that
exactly.
you could even hear
Peaks,
after this
peaks.
chapter. And it's
Yeah,
amazing. This is a little different. This is more straight through, but he goes nuts.
yeah,
He hits these great notes, and he's so hot that the drummers have to take over because Jerry, relax. You're going to kill us. He was that hot and that's fast. He was going in overdrive, and then they go into that drum solo.
and they do
The
it
great drum
perfectly.
solo too.
There's no miscommunication. It was just the drums took over and everybody stopped.
Exactly,
It's
exactly. It was
perfect.
amazing.
Hey, so
But
let's
the right
hey,
before the drum solo,
you
Howie,
you
that's the
you
part
you you mentioned about laughing to this, so let's let the audience laugh to it. Let's let them hear that Let It Grow
you
jam
gotta
to
hear.
the
That
drums.
the
Yeah.
drum, right? The whole solo right before the drums is mind-boggling, Howie. Enjoy, folks.
Yeah, so
Wow.
we heard about half the drum solo there. It's incredible, and the
That,
drums
that's
pick up.
better.
Yeah,
That's better than when I heard it yesterday. I truly mean that. It's better.
this
Every
gets
time you
every
hear this,
time. It's
you pick
incredible.
something else out. He is
And the
going so
drums
ballistic.
sound they sound like they're Let It Grow. It's not like somehow the drummers picked off on the Let It Grow vibe because it
Correct.
doesn't sound like a drum solo. It sounds like it's part of Let It
No,
Grow.
no,
It's
you're
like
right. That's
it's been this way all the time, folks. And
excellent point.
yeah,
Excellent point. That's amazing. This is another part of evolution. When they decided to do this in 76, they had that drum solo. They didn't do it in 77, but it's just so hot. I got to give them credit for their creativity. And you know what? When they go back into the Let It Grow, what they would call the Let It Grow reprise, they take their time, just like I said in other songs. They're not rushing into the next song. They noodle a little. Jerry's hitting some great notes. And then they go into another drum solo. There's actually another drum solo.
yeah.
It's very short. It's about 30 seconds, but it's incredible. It's amazing. Right before they go into the other one. It's just amazing. It's a short 30-second drum solo, but there's no other
Yeah.
instrument.
I hate to stop you there. What happened to Warfrat?
No, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Actually, oh, I got that wrong. It was the drum solo. It's after Warfrat. Okay, my bad. But you're
Yeah.
right. This Let It
We
Go
need the
reprise,
chalkboard and the
right?
brackets.
They're noodling. This is the part that I heard actually. Yes, I heard it actually this morning. I did a walk around the neighborhood just to finish off the show again, and I heard the Warfrat through the conclusion, so about 75 minutes. I could not believe this Warfrat might be the best one they've ever done. Look,
Yeah,
there's hotter ones. Don't get me wrong. There's hotter ones, especially in 78. There's some incredible ones in 78 where Jerry goes ballistic. You
KC.
mentioned one, remember from July, you told me like
Yeah.
Arrowhead Stadium is hot. There's another one. But this one is 15 or 16 minutes, and it's incredible. He hits some beautiful notes in the main jam, and then the outro jam, he slows up a little at the end, and then he starts hitting these incredible dark star like notes. I'm telling you.
It's incredible. Hey, so one second, let's go back to drums going into that Let It Grow. That the finish that Let It Grow is great,
Amazing.
man. It's killer. And then they're playing their way into Warfrat. They don't like make a quick segue into it or anything.
Right. They don't
It's like
rush into it.
they're in both
It's
songs.
amazing.
It's like a transition paradise, man. It's like they got both songs going at the same time, which
Right. Correct.
yeah,
That was a
Let It
part.
Grow and Warfrat, man. It was
They didn't know what to do on the discs that I have because they call part maybe of the other one Warfrat, but it really it's a great point, Howard. The Warfrat is closer to 16 minutes, and some of that definitely does include the very slow, drums that they do at the end. It's just
at the end before they go into the other one. Yeah, it's an incredible Warfrat, and then once again at the end of
amazing.
Warfrat, there's a great jam, and you could tell they're inching towards the other one. It's like this mind melt. It's like listening to 72 or 74. It's not even a 76 show. It's like this is what they would be doing in Europe 72, or it definitely has that kind of crazed feeling. Hey, so before we get to the other one, let's get the end of this Warfrat as they go into that.
Oh, it's incredible.
Warfrat
Again,
other one territory. It's
if
incredible.
you close your eyes at the end of this Warfrat, you could think that they're in 72 because they're hitting the Jerry especially. He goes on this tangent of some very soft, beautiful dark star-like notes. It's amazing. It's one of the most creative peaks of this show.
And like you said earlier, it would be like they'd be finishing up the Warfrat. Okay, we got to go in the Throwing Stones. There would be no,
of course,
there would be no mind melt.
This is the exact opposite, and this is why I love this show so much. They take their time and they're really thinking about what they're doing next. And instead of rushing into it, they kind of let the music decide where the next song is going. It's
amazing. Playing 2 songs at once, man. They're playing the Warfrat.
Amazing,
and the
right?
Other one. They, on both ends of Warfrat, they did it. They played Let It Grow and Warfrat going into it. And then they played
Warfrat and the other one, correct?
At the same time. It's incredible.
How amazing is that? Yeah.
Let's hear this Rat other one combination before they do the blast off into other one. It's unbelievable.
Enjoy. Wow.
Yeah, and then you
That,
can
that's better on
imagine.
repeated listening. Howie, I didn't remember that incredible point that I mentioned before. You know, the 2, 3, and maybe closer to 3 minutes of this dark star type sound. And I heard it this morning, and I just couldn't believe that I probably, when I was in the car, I had to focus on the driving. I just didn't pick it up as much. But when you're listening on headphones and you're taking a walk, nobody's bothering you. I put my a thing on silencer, so there was no phone call, no ringing, and I could really hear Jerry. It was amazing, I'll tell
Yeah,
you. One of the highlights of the show for me, just that little segment at the end of Warfret,
and it's very on
is
76. Like it's like
beautiful.
yeah, it's like a 74 or 72. It has that feel to it, man. It's
Right,
pretty
correct.
incredible.
When
Yeah,
they were in the middle of one of those spacey, jam sequence, amazing. Be
and
it a Dark
and
Star or another one, oh my God,
and after
amazing.
all this segment part right here, they blast off into the other one, and this is the beginning of a loop where the other
Right.
one
The other one,
ends. Yeah,
they're in the
so
middle
this
of
yeah,
a jam suite and they start a new loop within the suite. How
yeah,
do they do that? How do they think of that, Howie? To me, that's the Grateful Dead at their absolute best, you know?
yeah,
Look, it's
and they
not for
remembered.
everybody. A
They
lot of
remembered where
people.
they were. They were going into territories they'd never been, but they remembered that they got to get back to it. It's like
Yeah, it's a good point, you know. So the other one, I love the beginning of this other one. There's some great little jam for about 3 minutes before the lyrics, before the Spanish lady. Oh my God, he hit some great notes. And it just sounds great. Phil's bass, that Travis Bean, Jerry's guitar sounds incredible. They're
yeah,
moving along. It's amazing. It's about 7 minutes. They're not going to do a 20-minute other one when they've already played for what, probably 50 minutes or whatever it is, close to an hour up to this point within the suite
yeah.
without
It's not a
stopping.
standalone. It's part. It's part of the suite now. It's
Exactly.
it's serving the bigger good of the suite.
Right. There you go. The greater good. Yeah. So the other one is nice. Like I said, it's a good seven
It's hot, but
minutes.
they're going to get back to it. If you take the other one, this part, and you take the second part and you put it together, you have a pretty great other one. It's
Oh yeah, it's about 10 minutes.
yeah,
Right. It's close to 10 minutes. An incredible other one. So then they go from the other one towards they don't do the ending lyrics yet, but they go right into Saint Stephen. And the way they do it is very soft, and you can hear the crowd. They go nuts because this is the first Saint Stephen that they've played. They started playing it in Boston Music Hall on June 9th, but they hadn't played one in the West Coast since Hollywood Palladium on
wow.
August 6th, 1971. Think of that.
People must have heard of the rumor. Wow, that's
Right,
an
they
amazing
brought back
fact.
St. Stephen. Yeah,
Pe-
so
pe- pe- pe-
5 years.
wow, people must have heard the rumor that it was there, and they hadn't
Of
got it in the
course.
first couple of shows, so they were dying for it, man.
So they come out with it, and it sounds fucking incredible, Howie.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
Hey, so so the other one, like the way that winds down, and it just goes note by note into
Beautiful.
Saint Stephen. It's incredible,
It's
and
so pretty,
it
Howie.
almost sounded like they were going to go for Stella Blue, but Jerry took the bull by the horns and hit some Saint Stephen notes, and
Hey, if they went into Stella Blue and then
they've
back
been
into
awesome.
the
Yeah,
one, it would have been incredible. But
yeah,
they extended the ingenuity of this jam suite is incredible. It really is. It floors me.
yeah.
Just reading off the list, you laugh. You're like, how the fuck did they come up with this? You
Yeah, and
know?
it's a powerful Saint Stephen, really good. And
Oh, it's great. Really hot.
hey,
Really
before
hot.
we move on, here's another audio highlight. I saved the audio highlights for this part. This was the toughest part of like putting the show together for me. I was like,
Of
what the hell
course.
do I pick? Because there's so many
Oh,
different
it's
little.
tough. I agree with you.
So
There's so many.
I just think this is very cool the way they went from the other one to Saint Stephen. So we'll hear a little bit of the Saint Stephen, and we'll be right back.
Enjoy. Yeah, yeah. This is amazing, folks.
Spanish lady come to me, she lays on me this rug. And rainbows fly all around and round and tremble and explode.
Yeah, it's a pretty hot St. Stephen on the way, and the jam's good. For 76 St. Stevens are a little slower, but they're at
Yeah,
this
slower than
point.
77, but they're great. Look, I like this song in the new iteration better than the ones in the 70s. I do. I like
Yeah,
Donna's voice in it. I liked, the bridge. I like everything about it. I know it's a little slower, but the jamming is better to me,
yeah.
obviously.
I'd say
The
this one's
jam.
better than they were doing it in June. It had a better
Well,
feel.
I was
Yeah,
wrong. They did do one, at least one at the Orpheum. So this wasn't the first one, in 5 years on the West Coast.
okay.
They did one on the 13th at
Yeah.
the Orpheum.
Well, we could
I
pretend
don't
it's
believe they did another one at the Orpheum. They did one on the 13th. So that was the first one. So they saved it. The second one of this six-show run was the last show, the one where they were
give it to
critiqued.
FM radio.
Of
We're
course.
back, man. St. Stephen's back, and yeah,
Yeah, they pulled out all the stops for the show, you can tell. Amazing. And then after the St. Stephen, it really goes into Not Fade Away while they're playing St. Stephen.
yeah,
Another great point. It happened between, the Let It Grow and the Wharf Rat. It happened between the Wharf Rat and the other one. And it happens between the St. Stephen and Not Fade Away. They're literally playing two songs at once. I
yeah.
don't know how the hell they pulled that off, Howie, but they did it again.
Like in the old days, they would go St. Stephen to Not Fade Away, but they would finish St.
Correct.
Stephen. So
Right,
this
right.
this might be one of the first time. Might be the first time. I'm not sure. It might be the first time that they actually did it like this,
Go
where
into
they
not fade away and
musically
then
did it.
finish the
Yeah,
Saint Stephen. But it's amazing. You got it sounds like Saint Stephen, but it also sounds like Not Fade Away. They absolutely do finish off the Saint Stephen, not the reprise, but when they go into Not Fade Away, it just sounds great. Look, to me, there's nothing as good as the one from Cornell. That Saint Stephen into Not Fade Away, the pure energy
yeah.
and the pure thunderous ovation from the crowd and the sound of that Betty board recording all makes it such an
And then Not
outstanding,
Fade
really
Away
the
is
best.
ridiculous. Yeah,
It's incredible. You listen to that, you can turn a non-deadhead onto that.
yeah.
This is good. It's great, actually. Just not as good because it's not as powerful. But still, this came, a year before, not quite a year, but 10 months before Cornell. I
Yeah.
mean, it's amazing to
It
think about.
totally fits into the motif. Like Not Fade Away was a standout that night. It was one of the big songs. Here, Not
Correct.
Fade Away once again is serving the bigger picture of the
For the greater good,
yeah.
correct. And it's not the longest Not Fade Away. It's really hot. It's about 7 minutes. But Jerry hits him, and he noodles at the end, and he's taking his time. I love it. Look, this could have been a 14-minute. A typical 76 Not Fade Away. It could be 10, 11 minutes. They did it for an encore at a couple of shows, Not Fade Away. They did one on June 17th, my birthday in 76. And they also did it on June 19th, which is my bar mitzvah in 1976. So those two shows, there's a Not Fade Away encore. Those are a little longer. But this 7-minute one, of course, it's not going to be 15 minutes. It's within a jam suite. So, but it sounds great. And then that sets up the St. Stephen reprise. And then you figure they're probably close to the end of this jam suite. But no, amazingly, would you have ever guessed that they would have gotten to the wheel if you were a seasoned deadhead and kind of knew what they were
What would
playing?
be the
Based,
answer to the answer man? Not the wheel. And
based
also, the
on
wheel was
hearing
a new
the
song too at that time.
right, getting the set list from other people. Could you believe what they've been playing? You just wouldn't have believed that they would continue this jam suite. After the St. Stephen reprise, they could have ended it, or then maybe they went into a ballad, but they go into the wheel, and it's an incredible wheel. Amazing. I think it's the best one I've heard up until this point. Look, they played it almost every night, a lot of nights. They played it, when they played in Portland, they played it throughout the Boston Music Hall shows. They played it at the Beacon, they played it at Upper Darby, at the Capitol Theater shows. But this one is incredible, and it's long, and it's amazing, and it's a great outro jam. And again, they take their time. They're not looking to see where they're going. The music takes them to the
Yeah,
next song.
the transition from the St. Stephen's to wheel is great, where they got the little
Oh, it's
drum
amazing.
beginning, and yeah,
Correct. It's just great. Then it slows down to the dun, dun, dun. Oh my God.
yeah. There's a
Amazing.
super great wheel from Chicago. I think it's 629, but
Oh,
yeah,
629. That
yeah.
shows. So that's part of the CD package of these FM shows.
Oh
It's
wow,
great. It's got June 12th, which I know we
the
have that on
Boston
cassette,
Music
Howie,
Hall.
but
Yeah,
I haven't heard that show. That
wow,
show's amazing. I listened to that about a month ago. And it also has the June 29th from Chicago. I did not listen to that show, but I heard it's incredible. So that I will listen to that show coming up.
yeah,
But I'm figuring it's hot because God, I'm finding so many great things from June and July of 76 now that I overlooked. And I'll tell you, yeah, I know that I heard that wheel is amazing. This one might be the best of the year. It's up there. And again, take their time. The jamming's great. Donna's voice sounds great. Her singing is just so in tune with Jerry. Amazing throughout this show. Every song, they're really nailing it, you know?
Yeah.
She's not singing out of tune. She's not, singing over him, under him. She's not screaming where it's too loud. She's perfect, literally. It's the
Yeah.
best singer I've heard.
76 in general is one of her best singing years,
Oh,
fitting that
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Amazing. No complaints, you know? And I'll tell you how the wheel, and then at the end of the wheel, they're slowing down. You can tell they're just kind of waiting. Where are we going next? There's no rush. And then Phil jumps in. It's Phil with
Yeah.
the back into the other one. It's amazing. That to me is one of the great moments where if you were there, you must have been like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah.
They're going back into the
I
other
forgot.
one.
Did they play this? Did they start it? Did they
Right,
finish
right.
it?
Did they
It's
play this before? Yeah, they played this 20 minutes ago. Amazing.
yeah, this is
Howie,
definitely time out of
amazing.
mind, mind left body, just everything awesome about the Grateful Dead here. And
Oh my God, this is peak Grateful Dead. And unless you had said, Doug, pick a show from July, I probably wouldn't have thought of this show. I knew it was great. We had it in the day, but it just goes to show how much great music is out there from this band, how many great years they have, and within those years, how many great tours. And within these tours, there are so many shows that really stick out. And
yeah,
those shows that stick out are timeless. Time.
obviously this is better than any studio album they did.
Oh, it's not
This is
even
what
close.
makes the Grateful Dead different than any other band. Like Dylan, it's his albums. Even though he has great
Exactly.
concerts,
Led Zeppelin.
every other Pink Floyd,
Jethro Tull.
they,
Jethro Tull put out the best albums of the 70s. We
their
could
best
go on and on.
albums are what they stand by.
Exactly.
That's why the Grateful Dead never got the notoriety they deserved because
Exactly.
the
But they
best
didn't
albums were the
care.
live. Yeah,
They really didn't care,
yeah.
Howie. That's the part of it. They were true to their form, true to their ideology, true to their manuscript, if you will. Everything clicked with the audience. Everything clicked in concert. The live synergy. And this is clear, grade A example of that. And they're not even done yet. Again, they go back into the other one. It's about 3 minutes and change. And it's great jamming. It really is. Is it the hottest other one reprise ever? No, but it's great.
Once again,
Harry
serving
Noodle
the
hits
purpose, man. And they didn't
yeah,
forget about
there
it.
you go with the greater good. It's
They
true
they
though.
didn't leave it standing on the curb, man. They brought it back in, and
It's amazing. Yeah, 3 minutes and change, and then it quiets down. And Howie, I'll tell you, I got news for you. This Stella Blue is one of the greatest of all time.
yeah,
Now,
I
I
loved
love the
everything
one
about
from the
it, man.
Beacon Theater. The one from the Beacon Theater. I don't know if you heard it when I told you to, and you got shit you got to do, and you're doing these podcasts.
Yeah,
But that one, Jerry hit some notes where you're going to crack up and you'll throw something. This one might be better because of the overall texture of the song, his singing. This is the quintessential Stella Blue. I'm telling you.
that's what
He's never
struck me, the
sung it better.
singing, and yeah, it's
It's incredible. And if they did Morning Dew, it wouldn't have been as good as this Stella Blue.
yeah,
I'm telling you.
and they weren't doing it at the time, so
That's my
yeah,
point. Morning Dew is, to me, the greatest ballad and we look and we long for it and we love it. But this was the perfect song to end the jam suite. And thinking it already had a fucking 16-minute wharf rat,
that's the crazy thing.
which is mind-boggling.
No
Two,
show do you get a Wharf Rat and Stella Blue. It doesn't happen.
no,
Yeah,
within the same jam suite.
yeah,
That's my
within the same
point.
set.
Right. This is epic. And I'm telling you, Howie, I cannot overstate. This might be the greatest Stella Blue I've ever heard. The singing is perfect. He changes the lyrics. He doesn't flub them. He changes them a little, but his singing is incredible. It's the best I ever heard. I listened to it this morning with the headphones on, and then I heard it again as I was driving back from lunch. And Howie, I'm telling you, I was in fucking tears. I'm
Wow.
listening to this man sing, and I'm like, this is it's like the greatest moment maybe in Grateful Dead history. I'm not kidding. And why? It ends an 83-minute jam suite of 13 songs in complete perfection
And even
with
the, the
singing,
outro
Donna.
guitar solo is pretty hot too. I
Oh
mean,
my
there might
God.
be a couple that just barely beat it, but it's up there.
Well, yeah, are
Yeah,
there some that are hotter? Yeah,
yeah.
there's some that are a little hotter where he goes a little nuttier, but none that are better within the structure of the song. It is perfect.
Yeah.
He has never sung so heartfelt in his life. He has never really, shed the meaning of the song so well and shared it with the world. I mean, he must have been crying, at least inside, This is Jerry's favorite song. He's been
Yeah.
on record being
His
quoted as
favorite
saying this.
hunter, yeah,
Yeah,
Garcia, his
it's
favorite
it's a
hunter.
it's a masterpiece, a timeless masterpiece.
Yeah.
And I'm
Talking
telling you
about
how
masterpiece, this is a masterpiece to finish off the masterpiece segment, man.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
How the fuck did they think of that and were they able to pull it off? Look, if they went into around and around after the other one, you would have been happy. This is incredible. 83 minutes of rock and roll, but they ended in the absolute most perfect way they could have, with a Stella Blue for the ages where everything clicks. It
Yeah.
amazes me, Howie, and
And
everybody
once
knows it.
again, this is such a Grateful Dead set. It doesn't have the around and around. It's mostly Grateful Dead songs, with the
Oh
exception of like
yeah.
"Not Fade Away."
Right. Only
Yeah,
the not fade away, really, if you think about it,
yeah,
is the non-dead song. And that's okay because they were playing it dead. Everything else, when you look at it as an original song, that blows my mind. How did they do that? Lazy Lightning, Supplication, Let It Grow, Wharf Rat, other ones, St. Stephen, The Wheel,
yeah. It's all you,
Stella Blue.
you got to take this in segments. Yeah, it's so incredible, these little segments within the big set within the big segment, the
You
loop
know,
and sandwich within the segment.
Amazing. So now talking about it and dissecting it, it makes me appreciate the show even more. Howie, this is one of the greatest Grateful Dead shows of all time. I know I've said that before. We discussed Bickershaw. There's so many shows that we've discussed, and I definitely am one to talk with hyperbole a lot and say this might be the best show of the year. But with this show, I truly mean I haven't been affected by a show in this long. And I'll tell you why, because I hadn't heard it in 30 years. Again, we had it on cassette, but we were kids. What the fuck did I know?
Yeah, we're not
Now
sitting
that
down
I'm
and listening to an 83 segment. We're listening to a music never stopped and swing dancing. It's
exactly, exactly. So now I'm more into the Grateful Dead than I've ever been right now, this point in my life. There's no doubt. Because again, I listen to them every morning, an hour or an hour and change walk. Then I listen to them in the car. I'm looking for things I might have missed, whatever it is. And I appreciated the show so much. And it's not over yet, but after the Stella Blue, oh, another point. The Stella Blue ends similar to the 74 ones where they go back, duh, duh,
oh yeah,
duh.
because they're ending the whole
And then
thing. Yeah,
Jerry hits the most perfect, beautiful notes to end it. He just hit those. Oh, it's hard to describe, but it's not part of the lead because they end it, but then he hits these succinct, beautiful notes to close the song that will bring you to tears. That's why a lot of people consider
yeah.
this the greatest Stella Blue
Usually
ever.
I have to
And I get it.
walk away from a show after we do a podcast, but I'm gonna have to play this again when I go out to my car, man.
Howie, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
man,
it's
you
crazy.
will be like, this is nuts. Like it was hard for me to miss things because I literally heard the show 3 times.
Yeah,
Once just during that trip to Sarasota, and then you can't really appreciate it because you don't have the time to really reflect. When you listen to it again with headphones, you really pick up things. And then I
yeah,
heard it again, and I'm telling you, I cannot say enough things about it. And then, they take a break maybe, whatever, 30 seconds, and then they go into Sugar Magnolia. And it's a hot rockin' Sugar Magnolia.
definitely.
It's
Garcia
hot
came
as
out really
shit.
hot. It was close to going over the top.
Right, right. They were about to, but I think they realized what the
It's
fuck.
such a long show, yeah. Already at this point, you can't every song can't be the greatest when you're playing this many songs.
There you go. You
But
know what's
it was
amazing?
hot, man. He had some hot leads, and
It's
then
incredible.
I think it was Keith who wanted to keep it going. He was chopping
Oh
away with
yeah,
the
yeah. Keith's
piano. He
going
was,
nuts
yeah,
on the
yeah,
piano. So the Stella Blue, this show might be the best ever. The other one I told you about is the Beacon 615. The Beacon also has this nutsy Sugar
yeah.
Magnolia that you gotta hear. Might be better than this one. Obviously, there's no jam sweet like this one. But God, if you want another hot Sugar Magnolia from this time period, check out. I'm sure there's others, but that Beacon show, I can't say talk enough about how hot that show is.
And then we
And
also
the
got
Sugar
a
Magnolia is about 10 minutes. They go off. There's a great interplay between Bob and Donna at the end with the singing. It sounds great. There's so much great piano by Keith. That's a great point you made during the Sunshine Daydream. Jerry's kind of steps back into the background. I like that. He's been jamming his balls off,
yeah.
and now he's kind of just taking a step back, hitting some chords. And Keith is really the one who's kind of like taking them through the Sunshine Daydream. It's amazing. Beautiful version. I love it, Howie. Love
Yeah.
it. And then they say goodnight. And of course, then there's an encore that end of the show. They probably take a minute, come back, and they do a hot Johnny Be Good. The Johnny Be Goods at this time period were a little different. There's really no raucous jam by Jerry at the end, but Keith does 2 rounds of a solo, a hot solo. Jerry does a lead, then they come back with the, with the something your papa told you, some of you will be a man, you will
Yeah.
be the leader of and then he goes into these great Keith does 2 rounds of a great solo on piano. It's
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
definitely a piano keyboard song because Brent used to do great on the Johnny B. Good
Correct,
as well.
correct.
Yeah,
He does 2 rounds, and then Jerry doesn't do his round. Bobby cuts him off, kind of does the "I'll go," and they finish off the song. But Jerry hit some great lyrics underneath Bobby singing to end
yeah.
it.
Hey
And I'm
man,
telling you, it
at that
ends.
point, for even for us listening to, it's hard to even pay attention at that point because what you just heard, it's just
Oh, it's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, we're critiquing, so we're allowed to
yeah,
do that. But oh my God, Howie, this is the best show of '76. This is one of their greatest shows of all time.
yeah.
This has the greatest jam suite post
The
1972.
the only
I
two that
truly
I could put
believe.
up there, I can put up 2 shows, maybe even three. This would be top five for me. I don't know if it's number one. Maybe it could be number one. I'd really
Of
have
the
to think
year
about
or
it.
of all time?
Of the year, Oakland 10-9-76
Yeah,
is
10-9
pretty
is incredible.
crazy.
I like this show better. I
So,
like this show better. I know
interesting.
Oakland's hot as shit. It's got this help slip Franklin's that'll blow your
The
brains out.
begonias, the
It's
sugaree.
incredible.
It's yeah, yeah. It's
If I heard 10-9-76 probably today, I might say, yeah, you're right, Howie. But after careful reflection and after considering the jam suite and that perfect Stella Blue to end 83 minutes of continuous music, Howie, that's something they probably have never done. 13 songs, really.
yeah, yeah.
It blows my mind to think about of how hot they were on this evening on a Sunday night, July 18th,
But
1976.
this show is a classic. I mean, people know it. It's rated high. All that. As great as we thought it was coming into it, it blew us away. It was more than we ever could have bargained for. Man, it was incredible.
Right, but we didn't even know it. I couldn't have told you, I knew about the other one and the Let It Grow. How funny is that? But you know what's amazing? Back in the day when they did that questionnaire, for the dead bass in 1976, look at the 10-9 is the most
Wow.
loved show. It got 59 votes as the show of the year. 1231, from
Oh, that's great. That was the
from
other one I was going to
Oakland,
mention.
right?
Cow
Oh yeah,
Palace.
with their cowboy with that
Yeah,
great morning
that's got the
dew.
best set. That second set, man, it's
It's
incredible.
incredible. So that was number two. And you know what was number three? This show.
Yeah,
Seven. Now look at the votes. 59 votes for 10-9-76, followed very closely by 12-31-76 with 54 votes, and 7-18-76, 53 votes.
wow. So
So
it could have been
those
no. Yeah,
easily were the top three shows in most people's
I think
opinion.
it's fair because
So
like
the Beacon
that's what I was
shows
about
are
to
up
say. Those
there.
3 shows. Yeah.
614 was fourth, and 615 was
Wow.
fifth. And then you got the show from 629 was up there in the top seven. So these people, you got to at least give them credit.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah. It was
they
like
knew what they were
the
talking
big
about.
circulating tapes that we got back in the day. Those
Of
were most
course.
likely to be up there.
I didn't know 10-9 probably at that point.
I
Now it
don't think I
came
knew it
out as
either
a
back
as a
then.
Dick's
Yeah,
Picks release, 10-9 and 10-10.
that's what got me into it.
Famous
I
Day
really didn't
on the
know it until
Green.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the day on the green where they played with the Who. And I heard that the Dead blew the Who away.
Yeah.
The Who either didn't have it or they
The
just
Who,
couldn't.
yeah, it was an off period for the Who. It was
And they couldn't
76. It
match
was
what the Grateful Dead were doing.
it was Paint by Numbers or whatever that
Oh
album
my
was called,
God.
or
Yeah, the
so they
Who by
would.
Numbers or
Yeah, well, yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah. With a squeeze box. Mama's
yeah,
got
yeah.
a squeeze box that he doesn't sleep all night or something. Not terrible, but just not classic Who. But anyway, oh my God, Howie, I'll tell you, in reviewing the show and thinking about it, this show is a timeless classic. It's one of the greatest shows to me they've ever done. I truly believe that. The
Yeah,
more
no,
I
it's
think
just
about it, the more the highlights come, the more I, consider listening to it with the headphones and really paying attention to each song and the way they went into the next song and the way
and
they
they made
didn't
it seem
rush.
easy, but it was incredibly difficult what they pulled off. It wasn't just jamming and and shredding. It was
Right, rush
having
scrubbing.
having the group synergy to be able to connect all these songs and within another one suite do a Saint Stephen and to not fade away into Saint Stephen without
It's
forgetting about the other one
right.
it's crazy.
Plus the Let It Grow that comes before that. It's amazing. So you got the main other one, sandwich, but before that is this ripping Let It Grow with the Lazy Lightning supplication that goes
Yeah.
right into the Let It Grow. That's incredible.
And
And
bands
then
could do
to
stuff like
end
this if
it,
they practice, but to do this on the fly with your own
right,
material, it's like
correct.
they
To
didn't
do
sketch
this
this
on the
out
fly.
beforehand. No, it was just
To end the suite with the wheel back into the other one, Stella Blue. I can't overstate and exaggerate enough how hot this Stella Blue is. Look, any other song still would have been great, and the suite would have been great, but I'm telling you, because of this
Hey,
Stella Blue,
your call. Stella Blue and music for the outro.
Stella Blue.
All right. And
As
Stella
hot
Blue
as that music
outro.
never stopped is,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the Stella Blue is the singing. You got to hear those notes at the end I mentioned.
All right,
It'll
cool.
flow
Hey,
you.
so when I listen to the podcast, I get to hear the Stella Blue and the podcast. That sounds like the perfect way to end
That's
it.
pretty right, right. The
Yeah.
music never stopped is great. Don't get me wrong. It's incredible. That could have been obviously a highlight when we were talking about the first set, but it is the best one of probably up to this point of the year. But this Stella Blue is timeless and it ends the suite in perfect fashion. I can't overstate that.
All
It
right.
makes the suite one of the greatest, easily the top five suites they've ever done. And
All
I
right.
stand by that.
Hey, Doug, thanks for joining us. We're gonna put a nail on the podcast right here. Any final words?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. Well, because thanks to you, Howie, remember, you started the 76 Madness by reviewing June 11th, 76. I knew it was the 50-year anniversary of some of these shows, so I started listening to them. Hey, I had the box set when they came out a bunch of years ago with that June 76. I listened to it. I thought it was great, but I am so much more mature at this point, 5, 6, 7 years later in my listening. And I so appreciated these 76 shows because I hadn't heard them in years. Thanks to you for putting the word out. Thanks to you for discussing these shows. Hey, you discussed this show, believe it or not, in your book, in your Deadology book, because
Yeah,
this falls on one of the great dates
I
in
didn't
Great.
even enjoy it as much back then
Of
as I did
course
now.
not. You didn't know. You were just listening to it,
Yeah,
right? Listening to it now
exactly.
blew away when you were listening to it 10 years ago, correct?
Yeah,
Blows it
it's
away.
our musical IQ keeps growing, man. So the shows
Right.
keep getting better. I think they're also AI enhanced. Like AI is enhancing these shows, like somehow.
There you go.
So,
But to put a capper, because you would ask me, I'll tell you, I appreciate 76 now more than I ever. This is an amazing year. It's a little slower, especially, you know what, for me, there's two shows in the beginning of June before they went to Boston. I think they're both in Portland, correct?
yeah,
They're a
it's
little
yeah,
slower. They weren't as
yeah.
hot. There's a Crazy Fingers that's very mellow. And I remember listening to it, I'm thinking, oh my God, they're just a little too slow. I forgot that when they hit Boston,
The
they
first
turned it
show,
up a notch
killer.
and they
Yeah.
started killing it. So I kind of let two shows maybe frame my reference. I shouldn't have done that. And now I want to discover more and more 76. So thank you, Howie, for bringing the
Hey,
word out. Thank you for dissecting these shows.
yeah.
Thank you for the podcast. I love
Hey,
you, buddy.
it's the 50th anniversary, man. So I'm sure we'll touch on 76 again at some point.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You got those October 9th and 10th shows back
Yeah.
to back, which were incredible. There's a lot more 76 to come. There's some great shows in September. So thanks, Howie. We love
Well,
you. Everybody
hey,
give credit where credit is due. Thank you for what you do, my friend. I love you.
all praise goes to Mr. Garcia. I'll speak to you soon, brother. Thanks for coming
Love you.
on, man. Hey, the audience loves having you here, man. So we're very happy to have you, man. Thanks.
Hey, yeah, hey, and it's all from the heart. I love
Yeah.
it. I've talked about this before. Of all my passions, and I have many, this is easily the biggest passion I have. And till the day I die, I'll probably be talking and listening and pontificating about the Grateful Dead. It's a part of my soul and always will be. Love you guys.
Hey, what a great show this is, the Orpheum. I had to listen to it again this morning, man. I was driving around and unbelievable. Just they were so hot. They were as good as they could possibly be at that time. Totally in the moment. So that long segment, just incredible. The best of the Grateful Dead was there. They were incorporating their finest moments from 72, 74. They had that ability going on this night, throwing it in with the style they had for 76. So it really encompasses everything that's awesome about the Grateful Dead, and just have the synergy and the mindset to be able to pull off all those segues and, to do a St. Stephen Not Fade Away, St. Stephen Sandwich inside another one loop, inside of a bigger segment, and just to make incredible music. I mean, sometimes it would take such an effort just to do the segues, just to get through it in one piece. But they excelled as they went through it. So it's really an extraordinary second set there, unlike anything the bands ever really did. And very possibly right now I would have to reassess and put that as the best show of 1976. It's pretty incredible. And hey, once again, Doug, thanks for joining us. That wraps up the podcast. next week. I'm kicking around a bunch of different ideas, so many roads, but definitely within the next week to two, I'll have another podcast. I think Doug's on vacation, so hopefully you have a good time. Whatever you do, my friend, I think you're headed west, and we'll be back very soon. Hey, if you want to reach out to me, my email is catfishgarcia82@yahoo.com. I got a website, tangledupintunes.com, and all my books, Deadology and beyond, are available on Amazon. And we'll see what happens. We'll be back next in a week or two with another show. And for the outro tonight, as Doug Schmell suggested, we're going to hear the Stella Blue, and this is as beautiful, as gorgeous as singing and performing as the Grateful Dead can do. So yeah, great way to go out. The Stella Blue from 7/18/76. Thanks for listening. Peace out.
When all the cards are down, there's nothing left to see. There's just the pavement left and broken dreams. Just a soul. It's crying like the wind down every lonely street that's ever been. that sun. Crying like the wind. It seems like all this life was just a dream. Still a blue. Still a blue.